Craft viewers, this is Chaitali and I am back again with another episode of I'm Craft Today. I'm not going to introduce my guest to you today. I really am not. You know why? Because she doesn't need any introduction whatsoever. I have with me today Taylor from Tailored Expressions, of course. Hey Taylor!
Hi, Shaitali.
Thank you so much for joining in. I still can't believe that I'm having a video interview with you. So thank you so much for joining in on I'm Craft Today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Awesome, awesome. And I see a really awesome craft room behind you. I'm hoping we can convince you to give us a mini tour.
Well, it's a little messy at the moment, but I cleaned, this space where you can see.
All right, we'll stick to the cleaned up space. We'll just stick to the part that's presentable. Okay, so I'm going to start with what I always ask all of my guests because every story is different and awesome. So tell us about your journey into crafting and how did you get started, especially the pre-tailored expressions part where I think you were probably introduced in some way to crafting. So we want to know everything about it. Tell us about it.
Well, I guess I always start out with my mom. I've always been crafty because my mom was crafty. When I was growing up, we would do craft shows together. She really worked a lot with like wreaths and fabric, and she is like a jack of all trades. She can do a little bit of everything. So she introduced me to painting on wood, and I would pick up the fabric scraps from her floor and make my own little trinkets that I would, sell. I'd put them all on a tray and I'd say, these are all 25 cents. Does anybody want to buy one?
Oh,
so that was kind of my start into general crafting. I've always been kind of enjoyed getting creative with my hands. As far as paper crafting, let's see. I guess I was in college and I wanted to make a scrapbook for my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time. We had been dating for, I think, 2 or 3 years, and I wanted to just make a scrapbook of memories of us. So I actually got in touch with a friend who sold creative memories, and I bought a bunch of stuff. I made the scrapbook, and I thought, I'm done now. I did my project, and that'll be the end of it. Well, shortly after that, a friend of ours saw the scrapbook, and she told my husband, I should really show your wife the Stampin' Up! Catalog. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And he said, oh, sure, she would probably like to see that. And everybody always says the rest is history. I saw the catalog. I fell in love. I started stamping, and gosh, I never really envisioned that this is where I would be today when I picked up that little catalog. So, yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I think everyone starts that way, mostly that you see the first stamp and then you get hooked onto it.
Definitely.
Yes. Awesome. So tell us, what are some of the highlights and lowlights of this journey? What are significant moments you remember?
Oh, boy. Well, highlights, I would say, on our first anniversary, if anybody follows like the anniversary traditions, the 1-year anniversary is paper. And so for our first anniversary, my husband John thought he was going to be really clever, and he got me the gift of paper, which happened to be my own Stampin' Up! Demonstratorship. So he had bought me the demonstrator kit and said, honey, I think you should do this. So that was kind of the start, and a highlight because it was the two of us kind of deciding together that, this was something to pursue.
Nice. Can all the husbands of crafty wives talk to your husband? Can you give them some coaching and let the wives go and buy whatever they want?
There needs to be some kind of group for husbands of crafty women. They need to have like Husbands of Crafty Women Anonymous or something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a better title actually. I think my husband's going to call it that. It's like they need the therapy more than we do.
I think another highlight for me was when I discovered split coast stampers. I'd say up until that point, it was really just something I did occasionally. And I remember I was at work when I discovered it, which maybe I shouldn't be telling this, but I
Mhm.
didn't have enough to do at work. I would ask for things to do, and I'd finish them quickly. And so I happened upon split coast stampers one day at work, and from then on, I was hooked. I was participating in challenges, doing their VSN, and just really trying a lot of new things that I hadn't tried before. So about a year into my journey at Split Coast, I was asked to join the Dirty Dozen design team, which was a real highlight for me. I still remember getting that email. It was from Julie Ebersole at the time. She was the
Wow.
coordinator, and I was just thrilled. I think I probably fell out of my chair, and I said, yes, I would love to. So that was kind of another highlight for me in my crafting journey.
Very cool, really cool. So that looks like then you've spoken to and worked with some of the really really top folks in the industry as well over the years. Nice.
Well, it was, I did start out doing that, and another highlight of mine was I started out, my first design team besides the Dirty Dozen was Paper Tray. Nicole asked me to be on her
Wow.
design team, and I was just, once again, I think I fell out of my chair. Actually, I don't know what I did, but I was just, in awe. So I did that for about a year and just really enjoyed every aspect of being on a design team. Just the creativity, the talent, the sharing of ideas.
Yes.
So I think those are maybe my top three highlights from my pre-tailored expressions stamping journey.
Very cool. I think you've come a full circle now, right? And Taylor's Expressions is on Split Coast, and you also have a really awesome design team. So yeah, you've come a full circle. All right. So now we come to the tailored expression part of your journey. Tell us more about that section of your journey, and of course, that's been, I think, the biggest highlight of your entire paper crafting journey too. So tell us more.
Well, I don't like to say tailored expression started by accident because I don't think it was an accident. But when I first had the idea for tailored expressions, it was really more as a selling of my personal handmade items. So I named the business Tailored Expressions because these were expressions of myself, and I had put my heart and soul into these creative items, these cards mostly that I was selling to people. And that was the beginning of Tailored Expressions. And then I started to find some products that I really loved. So things that we still carry and sell in our store today are things that I started to sell at the very beginning. One of those is our sticky tape. And it's very similar to the score tape. You tear a piece off and peel the backing away, and it's just really sticky tape. So that was one of the first things that I thought, oh, I use this all the time. I love it, so why not offer that to other people? And, kind of just snowballed from there. I started finding other, kind of unique things that weren't everywhere that I wanted to repackage or give to people in a way that I found useful. So it was sort of started on the principles of, hey, these are things that I love to use, and I think other people will love them too. And, I can say honestly today, the products we carry in our store still are brought into our store on that principle, that if this is something I enjoy using, then I think other people will enjoy using it. And I can at least say with my full confidence that I love using this. So that was, I guess, the basis for starting Tailored Expressions.
Awesome.
So as far as the stamp side of Tailored Expressions, it was kind of, I guess I came across an artist one day. I was searching on online and happened upon her drawings of a little cupcake. And anyone who's followed me for very long knows that I have an affection for cupcakes. So I just loved her little drawings, and I thought, hey, why not see if she's interested, available? I have no idea where this is going to lead. So I sent her an email. We had some phone conversations. We happened to live not too far away from each other, so we actually met for dinner. And anyhow, her name is Jessie Olson, and she started off our line of stamps with Cuppy. And Cuppy still has a place that's near and dear in my heart. And then it kind of just went on from there. I was lucky and blessed to find another artist, Nancy McKinney, who I worked with actually on a blog design for me. And then I thought, hey, I love her work, and why don't we just see where this leads? So, you know, it's been a journey, and I've learned a lot that I never thought I would be learning. So, yes, I think that's
Awesome.
my answer.
Very cool, really cool. Is the very first stamp set still available? Do you have it in the store?
So no, it's not still available then,
Awesome.
unless it hasn't sold out yet.
Nice. And then, so you said that you have an affection for cupcakes. I know that affection is a mild word for it, and all sweets actually. So, which one's your favorite?
Oh, I don't know if I could pick a favorite. You know, I always tell people, they ask me, you know, what I want for my birthday or whatever, and I have never met a sweet I didn't like. So I'll tell you a few categories of sweets that I like. I really like donuts. I eat a lot of donuts. Let's see. For candy while I'm crafting, I like to eat Swedish fish.
Oh yes, I saw that on your blog.
Yes. They're not messy, so they're not going to get chocolate on my hands or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I eat a lot of cupcakes. Whenever we're on vacation or in a new place, I always look up the cupcake shops. And, you know, if we have time, I try to seek out new places. And
Nice.
Yeah.
How about the kids? Do they share your sweet addiction?
Well, you know, we all try to do differently for our kids than we do for ourselves. So I try to keep the sweets at a minimum for
It's going to
them.
go on for very long. They'll be like, Mommy, it's a cupcake. We want two.
Yeah, I know. Right now, our oldest is only 2.5, so you know it's still pretty easy to hide food from her when I want to have a treat. But
And the
yeah,
younger one hasn't tasted cupcakes yet.
no.
Okay.
Oh, Madeline or Charlie?
Charlie hasn't tasted cupcakes yet.
No, Charlie hasn't. Madeline for
Maddie,
sure
it's
has.
easy to hide from her.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, you have it easy for a few years, but it's coming. Nice. All right, so this is actually a perfect time for me to tell you about, you know, how special Tailored Expressions is to me. You can see I have a whole box behind me, and Tailored Expressions actually was one of the first stamps that I got, and I found you off Split Coast Stampers. I was hanging out there the first time I saw Split Coast, you know, and I was hanging out there. I was like, oh wow, this is a cool company. They have a lot of awesome stamps. And that's one reason, but even more than that, you got me addicted to challenges by giving me my first challenge win. So I'm so happy about that. I was like, I just participated in some. It was like, okay, so I'm not winning very much, and maybe it's not that exciting, you know, to keep going on when you're not winning. And then there is this huge win that I get once, and I think it was the sketch challenge that you had. And I also had the chance to guest design then. That's basically what, you know, kept me going on. It was like, oh, this is awesome. I got this really big highlight in my career. And the other thing that Tailored Expressions got me addicted to is opening a huge box of goodies that you've received as a prize or, you know, as from a manufacturer, because I think it was your calendar challenge that I won. And you sent me this huge box of so many things. It's like, oh, wow, I want to continue getting boxes like this. So I need to go join some design teams or do something that, you know, makes me get these boxes. Yeah, so Tailored Expression kept me in my hobby, and I still love your stamps. I think they're awesome to work with.
Oh, that's so fun to hear.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So, actually, coming back to your family, we started talking a little bit about them. We must talk more about them because I've read about them on your blog, and I feel like I know them. So, tell us more about how is it like to work with your family in a true family business?
Well, it's not without its challenges. I'm not going to say everything is peaches and cream every day, but it is a true blessing. I couldn't think of anything else I would rather do. It's really wonderful to be able to work side by side with my husband. And, my mom is right there with us a lot of the time as well, helping with our kits and so yes, it is just a true blessing to be able to work with family.
So, did you introduce your mom to paper crafting and stamping then?
Um, well, my mom kind of introduced me to paper crafting. I
Oh,
came
really?
home one weekend from college and I was going to work on scrapbooking, and she said, let's make some cards for Valentine's Day. And, mark my words, I said, Mom, cards are stupid. I don't want to make cards. I want to
Oh.
scrapbook. And so we sat down with our separate things, and I was scrapbooking, and by the end of the day, I was making cards, and never looked back. So
Nice.
now my mom doesn't do as much paper crafting. She kind of switches from sewing and other projects, but she was the one that kind of pushed me to
Mm.
making cards at least.
You should bring her into this room, and then she'll just get hooked onto it the way you did. Nice. And
Oh.
then tell us about Maddie and Charlie. How is it like to be a mom plus tea plus how do you manage everything and how are they? Tell us more about how they help you or not.
Well, Maddie is 2.5, and Charlie is almost 8 months. So they are just the light of our lives, and every little smile just brings me so much joy. So I think definitely being a mom and being a business owner is a balancing act. But over the last few years, we've made a lot of changes. The business is no longer in our home; it's now in a warehouse, and so we have that separation, and we can spend our weekends as a family and enjoy things like that. So, it's putting those places and those times in place where we can just focus on family. And we've been very fortunate to hire some very capable people that keep things running for us even when we're not able to be there. So
For all purposes, you're a working mom. You're basically working, the way working moms would, and
yeah,
have a job, and there is kids and family time. Nice.
exactly. Yeah. So our girls go to daycare like many kids do, and I go to work, and my husband goes to work, and then at nights and on the weekends we spend our family time together. So.
Very cool. And I love the pictures you take of them. I love that they're there in all your scrapbooks and they're there in a lot of pictures. That's really, really cute.
Well, thank you. I love scrapbooking them. They make for fun subjects, that's for sure.
Nice. I also like that you've kept it so updated, and I think I always fall behind, way behind on my scrapbooks, and I don't have kids yet. So I really admire that you keep so updated. Is that it exactly?
Well, I don't really, I guess my view on scrapbooking is that I scrapbook what I want to scrapbook, and if there's some pictures that don't get scrapbooked, then they just go in an album, and I want it to be enjoyable and not feel like something that I'm always trying to, that I'm
Right.
always falling behind on, because that gets overwhelming.
Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe I should take that approach and really get into that mode. I probably will when I'm dealing with kids and crafting. That's a good tip.
Yeah, well, that's another reason why I like cards, because they have such purpose, and you can't fall behind.
Yeah, that's true. I like that too. Sometimes I will do like a card scrapbook, I call it, where I put photos on the cards and like holiday cards or something like that, and that's my
Yeah,
scrapbook. It's also a much smaller canvas to deal with. The scrapbook's like so intimidating. Although the
exactly.
pocket scrapbooks are good now.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the following that trend, and it feels like you're designing just a mini card for your pocket layout instead of, a huge thing.
Yeah, yeah. A 12 by 12 blank page was so intimidating for me. I think I did like maybe 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's come back to your crafting style actually. You have your own unique crafting style and I love it. How do you describe it? And tell us, how your design process works. How do you start from beginning to end for a card?
Well, I'll save that answer for second. I will describe my style first. I think
Okay.
I was trying to think of this the other day, and I think I would describe my style as clean and crisp. Not necessarily clean and simple, because I don't always do simple. Um, but I usually keep my lines pretty straight, pretty crisp, uh, quite a bit of white space, I'd say. And I really love bright colors. I love anything bold, anything pink, and yeah, anything big, anything bright and bold. I love.
One thing I would add, what I feel describes your style, it's cupcakey.
Yes,
It
any.
is really like that, right? You use lighter bases usually for your cards, and then you layer on things that I just call it cupcakey.
Yes,
That's a good word.
that's a good description. So you have your base as your cake, and then you layer on the frosting and the
Right.
sprinkles.
Yep. Nice. So tell us more about how you go about crafting. Do you do a lot of planning beforehand, or are you just crafting by the seat of your pants?
Yeah, I wish I had a nice, concise answer for this, but I really don't have a process. I guess
Mhm.
it kind of depends what I'm making. I usually have a list of projects that need to be completed in a week, whether I'm making a birthday card for a friend or a baby card or a project for my blog. I have a list, and then if I need to be using a certain sketch, I'll have that sketch printed out. Uh,
Mhm.
and then I just kind of go from there. I usually grab my pattern paper and my images first, and I typically will color my images to match the pattern paper, and then I either pick out the cardstocks that match or the embellishments or whatever else I want to add to it, and I just kind of fuss with it until it's good. So I don't really, a card could take me anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on, if the idea in my head comes out really fast, then it'll only take 15 minutes. But if
Nice.
I'm coloring a lot and really fussing with the layout or the placement or can't find the right embellishment, then it might take up to an hour. But I usually don't spend more than an hour on a card.
Nice. I think we're very similar in that I call it 80% planned and
Yeah.
20% unplanned. Yeah, it's really I find that it's pretty useful to have like a general planning. I think that's what you're saying as well, that this is what I'm making, this is the constraints, and maybe shop a little in the craft room. But then a lot of times it doesn't work out, the design goes out of the window, and you start from scratch for, whatever you can. Very cool.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep, yeah. Most of the time, the vision does come from the head to the paper. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it goes from the head to the paper and into the garbage.
Yes. Nice. But I think that some of the planning really helps, at least for me, and I think for you as well. If you're away from your craft room for a long period of time, it helps to, think in your head before you actually go. And especially if there is like limited crafting time, you're not going to get like 3 hours. So,
Right. Yeah. I'll take whatever small pieces I can get. So, yes, having a plan before I get in my room is a good thing. Otherwise, I sit here and look around like, I don't know what to do.
yeah. Sometimes it's overwhelming too. Like, oh my God, there is a lot of stuff here. I don't know which one to use.
Yes.
All right, so this interview is incomplete without the rapid fire round, and this is the time for it. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you questions. You respond super fast, and at the very end, I'm giving you this big hint right now. We are going to do something amazing at the very end of this. Okay, let's get started. Your favorite day of the year?
Halloween.
Cool. Is that because you get to dress up the girls?
Well, it might be now. I think before it was because I love candy so much.
That's true
And I
even
love
now,
to
right?
decorate.
You get like triple the amount of candy.
Yeah. Send the girls out, they get the candy, and then I eat it.
Nice. That's actually a pretty good thing to do. Like not give the girls candy. That's going to make
Yeah.
them sick. All right. Favorite food?
Donuts.
I think we covered that in the interview.
Yeah.
All right. Worst crafting nightmare?
Well, I was cold one time, so I thought I would use my heat gun to warm up my legs and burned a hole in my pants.
Oh, wow. You have one powerful heat gun.
I think so. Well, they were those like nylon kind of swishy pants, like the athletic pants. So I just didn't realize how kind of fragile they were, and I should not be putting my heat gun anywhere near my pants.
Yes. Well, don't tell anyone, but I've tried to use it to dry my hair. Until I have an instruction on it that says don't use this as anything else than a craft tool.
Yes, that will burn your hair.
Yeah. So fortunately I escaped and my hair is still intact, but okay. Most difficult crafting tool.
Most difficult what?
Crafting tool.
Oh, I am gonna say it's difficult.
You can say there isn't any if you don't
I'm
have
gonna
any.
say my Stamp-A-Majig. Not
Oh,
that
really?
it's particularly difficult, I just don't like using it.
Hmm. It's pretty hard to align things with it, yeah. I usually prefer and I think dyes are fantastic for this reason. They're awesome to like cover up any kind of bloopers and, aligning things and moving things around. You just cut it out with the dye and then you put it up in the card.
Yes.
Nice. All right. So this is the interesting part of the rapid fire. You give me 3 poses for the camera.
Pose number 1.
Cool.
I'll do just a normal smile.
Okay.
Okay, pose number 2.
Okay.
And what do other people do?
Here, I have something we could try out. If you scroll your mouse towards the left-hand side, do you see one like a wand kind of yellow-colored square that
Yep.
says, okay, click on that. That's called Google Effects. You see it?
Yep, I clicked on it.
Okay.
Now I
It's giving you a lot of props you can use.
Oh, I see. Oh boy.
The prop. Cool. That's pose 3. You want to say something? It's not focusing on you.
Oh, sorry. How about now?
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, it follows me in the... Oh, that's funny. Okay.
All right, let's close that one. Awesome. So now since this was Iron Craft, this was my time to get crafty with you. And we are both using the same ingredients. Of course, tailored expression stamp. So the set we have is this one, Forever in Bloom. And this set is actually special two ways. One is because Taylor picked it as our ingredient herself. But the second one is this was your wedding bouquet, right?
It was, yes.
Nice.
You did your
So,
research.
yes, I knew that blog post existed. I just had to search for it when I was looking it up. But I know this was your wedding bouquet, a really beautiful one. So I'm really honored to play with this set today. And we also had the matching dice for this. And so here. And so these both were our ingredients. And let's see the cards. Do you have your card?
I do.
Awesome.
Sorry, I put it over here.
All right, let's see it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow, yours is like your typical style.
Oh, pretty.
Tell me more about your card.
Well, I started by stamping the little bouquet onto watercolor paper, and then I used gelatos to color it, and then I misted it.
Nice.
So then I cut that part out and popped it up over the top of this, which is just flat on the card base.
Cool.
It's kind of hard to see, but I cut the vase out of vellum and colored the vellum with Copic.
Oh, that's why it looks like it's like the frosted glass kind of effect.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
And then I just added my sentiment.
Nice. How did you get the fine coloring with the gelatos?
Well, I actually misted and colored with gelatos, and then I went back and added a little bit of Copic in the flower center.
In the center of it.
Yeah.
I see. Very nice. All right. For me, I did something that I think I can only usually successfully do with Taylor Expression stamps. I made a one-layer card. So this is completely one layer. And I used a really soft ink to do the background, just stamped it a bunch of times. And then this one, I cheated a little bit. It's not from the set we're using, but it's also a Taylor Expression set. It's one of the sets from the monthly Stamp of the Month kits that I got. And then the sentiment is in the middle. I also have a little bit of glitter on it, so see it?
I do, and we used the same sentiment.
Yes, we did. It's a nice small block of sentiment, that goes in the middle. So I really loved the soft look of it. And the paper, this one is linen paper, so it gives like the look of a very fine stationery, I think, in the end.
Very nice. I like it.
Awesome. Thank you. So we'll have better pictures of our cards on the Handcraft post. And this is the time to tell you all that Taylor is sponsoring a giveaway today. One lucky winner is going to get a $25 gift certificate to the Taylor Expression store. That's an amazing shopping spree, people, really. All right, so how do you win it? You just answer this question that Taylor is going to ask us and on the Handcraft post, and then I will choose a lucky winner from all of you folks who answer it. So what's the question, Taylor?
Okay, so my question is, what do you think is missing from your stamp collection? Is there a certain occasion or holiday or really anything, any kind of theme? What do you wish you had that you don't?
Awesome. That's an amazing question. I wish I could participate and answer as well. But that's a really cool question. So people, tell Taylor what you think is missing from your stamp collection. You know what's coming from your answers, right? So just go ahead and tell us what is missing from your stamp collection. Answer on the Handcraft post, and then you might win a shopping spree at Taylor Expressions. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this episode, and thank you, Taylor, for joining it today. It was a whole lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks. See ya.
Hey folks, thank you so much for watching Handcraft. I have some previous episodes for you, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel to get even more Handcraft videos in future and other videos too. Thanks a lot. See ya.